Hello, my pretties. I'm Dwayne. I'm here to talk about radios for Trans Pride. So we want you to learn how to use a radio. So, first of all, I'm going to assume that you all have used a walkie-talkie at some point in your life. If you have not, this is what this video is aimed towards. This is assuming that you have never used a walkie-talkie. You're being given a walkie-talkie. You're going to freak out about said walkie-talkie because they can be intimidating, and you need help using the walkie-talkie. Okay, so this is roughly the radio you're going to get. It's even going to be simpler than this because this is an amateur operator radio because, oh my gosh, I'm an amateur radio operator. The radio you're going to be getting is much simpler. It's not going to have this, it's just going to have this. Your radio is not going to have a screen even. It's going to have 2 dials and a button. It's not even going to have an antenna. It might have an antenna like this large. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is your radio on? To turn the radio on, you find, I don't know which one it is, you find one of the 2 dials. You're going to have 2 dials. One is a channel selecting dial. The other is a turn on, turn off, and volume dial. You find the dial that sort of clicks on, and if you move it, the volume goes up and down. That's the volume and on-off button. Once this is on, this is the channel changing dial. You're just getting a bunch of static heard on my radio because mine's an amateur radio, like I said before. But your radio is probably just going to have access to like either 4, 12, or like 16 channels. All the radios are going to be on one channel. They will be preset to that channel. You should never have to change the channel. If you do have to change the channel and you're freaked out about what channel you need to go to, just sort of find the channel. Like most people are going to be talking on one channel. Just find the channel that someone is talking on. You know, maybe you'll have a little dial that says like channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. Hopefully all the radios will be on channel 1. That should be the radio channel that most of us use. The second thing you want to do is, let's say you need to talk to someone on the radio. So on the side is a push to talk button right here. So what you have to do is you have to push down, hold it pushed down for a couple of seconds, and then talk. You're either going to be talking into the radio like this, or more accurately, you'll probably have an earpiece, and the radio will be clipped to you somehow. So you might have a push to talk button on that case on like a wire, and you would use that as the push to talk, and you would talk into a microphone, and you'd listen on an earpiece. That's actually preferred in some cases. That way, people around you don't need to hear what's going on. They don't need to hear that we ran out of tea for catering, or they don't need to hear that there's a makeup emergency in this bathroom stall. They don't need to hear all of our internal stuff. We just need to hear it. So if you're given an earpiece with the radio, please wear the earpiece. And then the push to talk will probably be either still be on your radio or on a wire that goes from the earpiece to the radio. The other thing is that the radios, you can generally clip them on you. And what some people do is, if they're given an earpiece with a wire to the radio, they'll clip the radio on them. And then they'll put like another coat or like another jacket or shirt over the wires so that the wires aren't exposed and you don't risk snagging the wires on anything. It's supposed to be a pretty mellow day, maybe high 70, 75, so you should be able to get away with that. I'm sure that we're fashionistas, we can come up with something. So that's basically like operation on how to use a radio. If you try to turn it on and you don't hear any volume at all, the battery might actually be dead. In that case, come see me or my partner in radios. We'll check the battery. We'll see what's going on. And we might have to swap out the battery. The other thing is when you learned how to turn, you know how to turn the radio on. You're on the right channel. You're hearing people. You want to talk, and you know how to push to talk. So there's a couple things you need to know when you're doing that. The first one is don't just go, hey, we're out of cheese and catering, because that doesn't help anyone. First of all, no one knows who you are. Second of all, no one knows where you're located. So the absolute minimum, you need to tell people who you are, who you want to talk to, and where you're located at. So one easy way to communicate who you are and who you want to talk to is in the format your name to other person's name. Like, my name is Dwayne. If I want to talk to Oliver, I would use Dwayne to Oliver. So let's say I want to ask Oliver about cheese in the catering room. I would go, push down the button, hold for a second or two, and then go, Dwayne to Oliver, we ran out of cheese in catering. Over. And then I would end with over, indicating that my transmission is done. And then Oliver will respond, Oliver to Dwayne, what are you doing? I'm security. Over. And then he communicated to me that I'm asking the wrong person. So basically you want to do your name to the person you're calling, give your message, and then say over afterwards. And the other thing to remember is to tell people where you are. So I've learned that Oliver is not in charge of catering, so let's try someone else. Dwayne to Elaine. We are out of cheese in the catering stalls. I am by the main stage to the right, exit stage left. Over. So that's me calling to Elaine. I'm telling Elaine the issue, and then I'm telling Elaine where I am, which is exit stage left of the main stage. And then I said over. So that's basically radio 101. The antennas shouldn't be very tall. You shouldn't have to screw them off, things like that. If you have questions as to what channel you're on, talk to your lead. Your lead should know that. And the other thing is, don't use the radio until you have to. Like, let's keep it to, like, volunteer needs. Let's not use it for, like, a big rag chew. Like, we don't need to go, Dwayne to Oliver, I have a rash. I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah, by the way, how's your dog? I heard that they are really cute. And, oh, my gosh, can you believe the last performer? They were fierce. Over. Like, we're not using it for gossiping. We're not using it for idle chit-chat. We're using it to get business done. So, yeah, that's Radio's 101. If you have questions, you know where I live, darlings. Happy Trans Pride.